Hey everyone, this is Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. I will be putting together June in my reading journal, so I hope you are ready for a little bit of a longer video. I am so excited. I hope you have a snack or you are putting together your own reading journal as you watch this. So as always, I start with my year of books page and I add in those super tiny covers. You can get your own year of books template in my walkthrough video, and I'll leave that up in the eye. And I just love seeing this because now we're at the halfway point for the year, and I think I have 54, 55 books. So I am just having a really good year with books, and I continue to really enjoy reading. I'm adding the books to the spine and kind of flipping back and forth. That way I can know the names of my books, right? And also I just get nervous about spelling. I want to make sure I spell the names of the books right. One of the book spines, I needed to use a pen to outline it a little bit more when it got stamped. And I am now on the flap section of my bookshelf. So that is pretty cool. That means I almost have 2 full shelves of books. And last year in July, I read a huge amount of books, like 12 or 13. We also went on a road trip, so that helped, but I'm aiming to do the same this July. So I don't know, cross my fingers and hope. So in May, my favorite was In the Weeds, and I made sure to put that in the gallery and then also add in June, which was a really small square, and I just picked Part of Your World. It was really hard to pick just one book, but somehow I managed. I added in a 9 and then filled in 9 yellow squares for my Goodreads challenge. And I just love seeing each month and colored in and getting closer and closer to 100 books. I cannot wait to see how many books I've read at the end of the year. I'd love to know in the comments section, what is your goal for this year as far as how many books you would like to read? So I added 8 paper books and 1 Kindle book to my list of books. And then I think I added 3 adult books, and I couldn't figure out The Unlikely Animals, but I wound up putting that on adult fiction and also a children's book. And then I added the letter U for The Unsinkable Greta James and E Every Summer After. So I have 2 more books added there, and then I can go on to the first challenge, which is the Year of Smut, and I did not read any books in June that qualify for the challenge. At least I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and double check, and then if I have to, I'll fill them in July. I added in 2 books for the Bloom Challenge. I read Babe, which is part of the Gilmore Girl, Rory, her list of books. And then I read a book that took place where one of the places that Stephanie has lived, and it was Georgia. And I'm so glad I read The Homewreckers. It was such an awesome book. But I did realize that I wanted to make sure and remember that one of the books I just read this month, July, Marrying the Ketchups, actually works for a multi-generational novel. So I went ahead and wrote that in pencil so that way I could remember. Okay, I am doing my calendar, and as I've said before, I start 4 dots in, and then I count 3 dots, and then I draw a line. So it's 3 dots, and so the box is about 4 dots wide, I would say. And I tried to pay attention to my weekend because last month in May, the Saturday box wound up really, really smushed. So I'm trying to pay attention to that, and then I will fill in all the lines. And oh my gosh, you guys, it's just so funny when I make these calendars because it's not like I'm mean to myself or anything, but I swear every month I make some sort of goof, and I just have to laugh and keep going. This time I made an extra row of boxes. So technically the month could have had 38 days if I wanted it to have 38 days, but nothing I can do, and I'm not going to start it over because it's in pen, right? I do pick a really funky color to circle in my dates as well because it messed with how I was trying to put the whole layout together. But in the end, I kind of just ignored that warm yellow color and went with more of bright yellow summery colors. So I have a few die cuts from Feed Your Craft that I am going to use. One that says all the books, another that says on my shelf, and then that adorable girl on a couch. I could not decide where I was going to put June. So I wind up stamping June, I think 3 times before I figure out that where I want it. And then I go back to a previous month and realize that I actually stamped the month and the number of books in black. So I need to stamp it on a separate piece of paper. I decide that I'm going to finally stamp June below the girl on the couch. And then I'm going to kind of do something a little bit different, just the way that the page was going. It was going somewhere by itself, basically. And I was along for the ride because I am combining the die cuts, the washi, and the stamped phrases. And so I wind up putting a washi strip below June and one of the die cuts to kind of give it some, like a place to rest. And then I had a little small space right after the June on the right-hand side. So I'm going to add a really small piece of washi tape and then take it off later on because I didn't want it. I'm doing the same thing. This is where I was adding that little tiny pieces of washi, but I'm going to take them off later and just not use them. There was a lot of like back and forth with my overall design for this page, but overall, I was having a lot of fun putting this together because I just absolutely love my reading journal and I absolutely love putting together these pages. I pulled out a few summer Everyday Explorer stamp phrases for this page. I have Best Beach Read and Summer, 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 and I will incorporate those. I've stamped June in the black so I can adhere that in just a second, and I stamp 9. I have the summer in a like honey mustard color from Ali Edwards, but I am going to switch it out because I wound up turning off the camera to like talk to my daughter and hang out with my daughter. And then I was looking at the project. I'm like, oh, I don't like this yellow with this. It's just not working. And I really wanted to keep the on my shelf. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to that bright summery yellow color. I also got a new Distress Oxide ink, which is so pretty. It's Salvage Patina. And I stamp My Favorite Place and Goodreads for some stamped phrases. And then I decide that I just want to add some potted plants with an old Feed Your Craft stamp set. And again, this, like I said, my design was just kind of going by itself and I was just going with it. I was along for the ride, like I said. So I added in some potted plants and just a little bit of different flowers, like a tropical one and then like a regular daisy one. And it's really cute. It turned out really cute and I love the mix of all the different pieces. As you can see, I thought again, hey, maybe I should switch the June and where the June is, and maybe I should take out those washi tapes. And I did take out the washi tape, but I left June where it is going to be, and I did add a plant over above the couch, kind of like a couch, not a couch, like a shelf above the couch. Sort of. And then above the Taking a Break, I added 2 really small potted plants, and I just love it. I love this page. It turned out so fun. I just kept adding things, and it turned out to be really fun. And I can't wait to do another summary type project for July. July is going to be really fun. I'm already thinking about what kind of colors I can use to make a summary July page. So I'm stamping the inside of the green leaf for all the different little spots that I have. And then I can work on adding in my dates for the days that I read the various books. So you can see here, I am cutting out the Summer, Summer, Summer and Beach Read in the lighter color because that worked out so much better overall for my spread and the overall look of my spread. So I cut those out. And then I make sure that like I borrowed my daughter's iPad. Well, technically it's my iPad, but either way, I borrowed it so that way I could see my Goodreads and that way I could write down the days that I read my books. And I read a total of 9 books. And I will say that my month did start off with a really quirky book. I don't remember how I stumbled on this book. It's called Unlikely Animals, and it was a quirky book. It was good, but it's just not my typical genre, and I don't know, it's just quirky. So I started off the month with that, and then I went to the Homewreckers, and that was a really good book. And like I devoured it. I inhaled it. And that's what I say, inhaled or devoured. Then I read Remarkably Bright Creatures, and that was my only Kindle book for the month, and I wound up losing it from the library, and I was like 70% in, and so I had to buy it, which was fine because I can't not finish it. I had to know what was going to happen. So I was so sad. I was like, where did it go? But then I realized I ran out of time to read it. Has that ever happened to you guys? Leave a comment and let me know if that has ever happened to you, because I was almost in tears until I realized, well, duh, my library loan is done. So after The Remarkable Bright Creatures, I have Part of Your World and The Book Woman's Daughter, and then Babe. I read Babe. That was such a cute book, and I can't wait to watch the movie with my daughter. That's going to be so fun. And I ended the month with Every Summer After, which everybody's talking about, right? Which I enjoyed that book, but I don't want to give anything away. Okay, so the stats page. Here we go. As I was making this page, I wanted to incorporate a lot of the blues, because you will see several of my book covers have blues in them, and the greens and the yellows. But then when I'm done making this page, I realized that my colors are very similar to March, but that's okay. I still made it look like its own because of the different circle stamps that I picked. I kind of picked the circle stamps not just because there's blue covers, but also because of the octopus. Oh, I love that octopus from Remarkably Bright Creatures. That is going to be a favorites video because, the octopus has such a special place in my heart. So if you haven't read that book, go read it. You need to read it. I stamped out all the stats with the same Feed Your Craft stamp sets, and I've got all my books placed. I'm going to do 2 rows of 4 and then just 1 by itself, but I will add some washi tape down in the bottom right corner. So I went ahead and I put the first row down, and then I wanted to stamp book rating to make sure I had enough room for the book rating and also the dates that I wanted to add. Then I can add in the second row and then my last one book that I have. And see up at the top how it's all blue book covers. I have no idea how that happened, but that's how it happened. So I just had to include that. And also, it's June. It makes me think of blue and the ocean in summer. So that's kind of my whole theme throughout these pages. So I picked out a few stamps, like the mixed mark stamps and the lines and dots stamps that I use from Everyday Explorers to help me add in some patterns and lined, layered stamping that I love to do. So I picked the large, wonky circles, as you can see, and then an X, and later on I'm going to add in some small little circles. I add in my boxes. I have 4 boxes, and then I will decide what my special category is. Every month I usually try to pick 2 special categories. Yeah, it's 2, not 1. 2 special categories to include in 2 of the boxes. And I also use that same box to make lines for the pages and the genres. And I feel like I never have enough room for all my genres because I write down so many different genres because, books cover a lot of different genres, and I just can't fit them all. So for this month, I read 2,962 pages. So it's a really great month for books, and pages don't really matter, but I just like knowing the pages, and I just like reading books, right? Isn't that what we all like? Is reading books. They're just so much fun, especially in the summer. It's always a good escape into books during the summer. For the genres, I put magical realism, romance, southern, mystery thriller, books about books, family, and classics. So that is what I decided on. For paper, I had 8, and Kindle, I already talked about, I had the 1, which was the Remarkably Bright Creatures. I'm just really, really on a kick with physical books lately. I think that's just how it is. I was looking back in my journal to kind of see what other categories I've done, and because I wanted to come up with something different, but In the end, I did go with one category that I've never done, but I was looking and I realized remarkably bright creatures will actually work for one of the categories in Bloom Challenge. So I wanted to write it down now so that way I wouldn't forget. It works for the category of a non-human character because the octopus plays a really, really big role in the book. So I count out how many books work for a challenge and I decide on 6. So I stamp the 8 and the 1 and then I'll stamp 6. And my other special category is devoured. I used that word a little bit ago, but that's what I say when I like devour or inhale a book in under 3 days. And I did that with 3 books. It was the Homewreckers, Part of Your World, and Every Summer After. And I think I probably could have included the Unsinkable Greta James. I probably could have included that, but I just decided not to. I don't know. For whatever reason, I just decided not to. I'm adding in some more of the stamped circles, the layered wonky circles, and then I'm going to add in, I added in some dots and X's in a darker green, but it wasn't much. It didn't add a lot to it, but that's okay. Added in some stamped phrases, get lost in a good book, just one more chapter, and then take a look in a book. Oh, reading Rainbow. It's the best. I love reading Rainbow. Picking out my marker for the book ratings, and then I can fill in my ratings. I had a lot of 5-star ratings this month. The Unlikely Animals, I did that one as a 4, and Every Summer After, I did that as a 4 as well. I can't tell you why because it'll give everything away. And then Unsinkable Greta James, I gave that a 4 as well. Just, I don't know. Some of the stuff that went on in the book, I just didn't really care for. But overall, it was a good book. It was just okay. Just an okay book. So I gave Every Summer After 5 stars. So I went to the back of my reading journal, grabbed the scratch paper, and then stamped the rating and just put the 1 star to cover over that little boo-boo. And as you can see, I added in my small circles, and I am almost done with this whole spreads for June. So I'm adding in the dates that I read, and I totally messed up on May 31st. It kind of looks like May 39th, but I'm not going to fix it. I'm just going to keep moving forward. Writing down the rest of the days, and then I'll be done, like I said. And I hope you guys have enjoyed seeing my reading journal come to life for June, and I'm so excited to keep going with this project. It continues to be probably my favorite project to put together besides our family books. So there you go. I'd love a thumbs up or a subscribe if you are new to my channel. All right, have a great day. Bye.